so loud again.
She want that old thing back. Turn me up the headphones. Turn me up. Yeah. I share. Peace to the gods, I share. Peace to the earth, I share. Peace king. Peace to the kings, I share. Peace queen. Peace to the queens, I share. Yeah, it's peace king when you see me in the street. Proper greeting. To not acknowledge a light being is not the season. No ego, clearly the leader of the people. Vision like Calico, this for my amigos. Leaning on that window of that Rego. I'm praying that one day he gonna be free though. They ran up in the crib while he's peeking through the peephole. Never thought it would be divine evil. Creeping with that heat close. They say I walk round like I got an S on my chest. Now that's a gold-plated no baguettes on my chest. Like a movie, words got special effects. A old school G used to bump Rex and effects. And the Fugees, youngins know that I'm next. I pump knowledge to the streets so they showing respect. Cause I did it without the fraudulent stories about me blowing a tech. I let the Most High order my steps. You feel me? You gotta know what time it is, man. It's the age of Aquarius. Each one teach one, and that's what it is. I share. Peace to the gods, I share. Peace to the gods, I share. All right. Come on in. Put your nines up, family. Let me get set up here. You know what I mean? Shout out to the family. You know what I'm saying? Let me get the frequency right. Put your nines up. Shout out to Queen Angel on the t-shirt. I love it. Thank you. Put your nines up. Let me know where you're from. Put your nines up. I want to know where you're from. I'll get the frequency right in the meantime. Yeah. We back. Fresh off the plane. Salam alaikum, shalom, Eem, Hotep, Grand Rising to the royal family. Come on in. Let's get this work. Yup. Like, share, comment. Make sure you click the follow. Make sure you click the subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, we are simultaneously broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube. So shout out to the YouTube family as well. We missed y'all, but we back. Let's get the frequency right. Yes, sir. So before I begin, let me set up here because I want to shout out my first nine before I go in on this, because we're going to be talking about King Tut today. Okay. But first and foremost, I always got to see who the first nine is. So let me get my Facebook up here and see who got on there first and say, you know what? If I'm on frequency and I know my brother, he's coming on today. So I'm going to wait it out and I'm going to hit that refresh button. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to wait it out. So let's see who we got here. Come on. Let's pull it up. Here we go. So, first and foremost, I want to shout out Kazzy Shep. First one on. No ego. Clearly a leader of the people. You better believe it, man. Better believe it. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Kazzy Shep. Thank you. We out here. We working hard, man. It's good to see you. Good to see you back. Good to see you on the first nine. I appreciate you. Thank you. I love you. Robin Taylor, Dua. Yeah, Angie made this shirt. Angel made this shirt. Shout out to her. Thanks for the love, Angel. I appreciate you. Latrice Edie. Shout out to you. Thank you for being on here. You know, Angel Thornton, she's the one that made it. Samara Blaze out of St. Lucia. I see you. Can't wait to get out there to the Caribbean and see some of you guys out there. Lakeisha, my moderator, shout out to her. Divine Nine Election, thank you. The Divine Nine Election, man, we went in on the number 9. We went in depth on the number 9. Some of y'all, y'all know what the number 9 is, but we went further in depth, like real deep. So
if you want to get that lecture, it's still available. If you want to purchase the lecture, you can hit the lecture link so that you can purchase it and you can watch it still on Facebook. All right. I think they're doing it for like $10 now if you want to get it. Frankie Davis out of Texas, I see you. Grand rising to you. Okay, by way of Cocoa, Florida, I see you. Peace, peace, peace. All right. I'll be down in Texas again. If you don't know, we have our ball coming up, our gala in Texas, our African gala. So make sure you get signed up for that. Get your tickets. I think the tickets are $100, and you're gonna come in your best African apparel. Latrina Hightower out of Ohio will be there real soon. So get ready for that. Cleveland's doing big things, as well as Detroit, Michigan, Lighthouse. Joanne Jahi Adisa, Uncle Ma'at to you, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. I missed you too, Tashi, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. So today we're gonna get into King Tut, the King Tut Experience, because this was probably one of the pinnacle points of my lifetime as far as research and seeing things for myself with my own 2 eyes. I always try to tell you guys, don't rely on someone else's information. You want to go and see things for yourself. This is why we do these trips. This is why we get together and do what we do. This experience for me was not only one of the best exhibits that I've seen thus far, but it was also one of the most informative exhibits that I've seen, that I realized that there's work for us to do to help assist in this manner of what's going on, because there are some things that's being related to the people that is being related to the people incorrectly, and we're going to get into that a little bit today. But today what we're going to do, we're going to go over not all, but some of the artifacts that we got to see at the King Tut exhibit. One of the things I want to show you here is, first and foremost, some of the things that nobody has seen before. There are some things at the exhibit, and they notified it when you walk into this exhibit. And for those who don't know, this is in California at the California Science Center in Long Beach, California. I think it's in LA actually, somewhere around there. But in any case, when you walk into the exhibit, they notify you that there are some pieces or artifacts that are in this exhibit that nobody has seen before. They're directly from Egypt. This is their first time out of Egypt, and I'm going to cover a few of those. I can't cover them all. It's just so many. When they broke open into King Tut's tomb, he just had so many precious pieces that they can't allow all of them in one place. I mean, that would just be it wouldn't even be smart. But in any case, when you see some of this stuff, it's just mind-blowing. It's breathtaking. The inscription on some of them, like let's just take a look at this here. Here we have the figure of Ptah. I was so excited to see Ptah. This is my first time seeing a genuine Ptah artifact out of Egypt. If you don't know who Ptah is, please do the research on him, because that will lead you to people such as Ptah Hotep, and the reason why they name themselves after this divine energy of Ptah. Here he's holding the Jed pillar, and we know about the Jed, and with the Ankh on top. The Jed is a symbol of stability. The Ankh is a symbol of life. So here you have a figure that represents life and stability, which is, pretty much all we need in life is life and stability, right? So Ptah is that energy. He represents that strength of life. And here we have the classic Ankh. I've actually seen a depiction of this Ankh. I think his brother Jabari has one of these. It looks like it in his shrine, and it just looks exactly like that. And it's just beautiful. I mean, just look at the craftsmanship, the gold, and when you look at this, what we need to understand is that they were wood craftsmen. They were great at crafting wood. And these articles, this is not solid gold. It has gold leaf flakes around a wooden sculpture. So, a lot of times we look at it and we say, oh, it's all solid gold. No, it's not solid gold. They were shaping wood, and they would take gold leaves and print the gold leaves and then wrap them around the figures and then put paint on it to get what you see here. and they did this for a number of items. Now this is all Tutankhamun's items. This is all the stuff from his tomb when they excavated his tomb, and it's just beautiful to see. When you're able to read the metal netter and actually see what's being said. It's just really, really cool. And the family that I went with, all of the people from the lighthouse that came with me, the admins, everybody from Lighthouse SoCal, I was kind of giving a walk around tutorial of the things that we were experiencing and the things that we were seeing. Because when you're in the exhibit, and this is what I want y'all to understand, when you're in these exhibits and you go into these museums, just because you go to the museum, it's not 100% accurate, the information that they're telling you. You want to make sure that you try and get with a group of individuals who know what they're looking at. Get with a scholar who knows what he or she is looking at, because sometimes what they're telling you is the wrong interpretation of what's actually being seen. And they got to see that. The people from SoCal, everybody that was there, they got to see how some things were being misinterpreted to the masses, to the people, and I had to explain them, to our people. So if you were with us, you got a different interpretation of what was being seen than what was really going on. It got to the point where all the white folks was following us around because they knew what we were talking about. See what they did? They gave them cell phones and they was walking around with cell phones, and on the cell phone, it was explaining what they were seeing, like in private to each individual person. But when they overheard me speaking and us having our conversations, they started to follow us, and then they started to ask questions, to me, like, how do you know so much of this and information? They were very, very inquisitive as to what they were looking at and what they were seeing. So as you can see here, a lot of them have the cell phones to their ears. Okay, you see that young fellow there. That separate phone that he has is one given to him by the museum. So they have one story about what's going on, and then we have the true story about what's going on. You understand? So make sure when you go to see these artifacts that you have someone with you and you're not getting the Tom Who's interpretation of what it is you're actually seeing. Though these are actual artifacts coming from Kemet, little cards, down on the bottom to tell you, what they think this is. And these little cards kind of explain what they think that it is, but a lot of times they're incorrect. So I had to explain what it is they were actually seeing. So here's one of the artifacts that nobody has ever seen before, which is an Ankh candle holder. Okay, this has never been let out of Egypt. You guys are the first to see this, besides the ones that were there at the exhibit with us. So this is one of the advantages of dealing with the lighthouse. You get to see things that nobody's ever seen before. This is the first time anyone has seen these candle holders here, besides what you've seen on the walls of Kemet written down in drawings. But this is a bronze torch that they used to use. Okay, it had a wooden base, and it was in the shape of an Ankh, okay? And as it says here in spell 137b, they're talking, when they say spell 137b, they're talking about the Egyptian Book of the Dead, or the Book of Coming Forth by Day to Night. So this here, they put spell here, but we don't want to say spell because they're not spells, they're utterances, okay? And I explained that to the family when we were there. Utterances is a different outlook on the information. When they say spell, then you automatically in your mind think magic, and this is not magic. Okay, we don't deal with magic in Kemet. We deal with utterances, and utterances are words, divine words that have always been said that we don't know the source of. Okay, an utterance is something that is beyond human intelligence because we don't have the source. When we actually came back and dug these up, it was already written in stone. Some of them we know who wrote what, some of them we know who wrote that, or what, and so on and so forth, and we labeled those. But utterances are words that have always been spoken, and we don't know their source. We credit the source of these words to the divine, okay? But the Tomhu will label them as spells. They are not spells, and that's what we want to get away from, okay? But if you just look at the craftsmanship, okay, the biggest thing you get from seeing these artifacts is the craftsmanship of the work. It is so so particular, so precise, from the biggest to down to the smallest. The detail on these are earrings that you're looking at, family. Okay, and when you look at the detail and how long it would take to create something like this, you can't help but to think about our ancestors and say they were really, really great with their hands. Awesome craftsmanship. A lot of this stuff we've only seen in pictures. You have to go and see it for yourself. And if you're in that area, if you're in California or anywhere close to it, take the trip. It's well worth the trip, well worth the experience. A lot of the papyri that we get are just shavings of what we see going on here, like this from Tut, where you see his wife, and I've shown you this before, where they're showing the sacred sexual imagery here. Okay, this is actually written on this piece right here, and that used to have a little statue in the front of it, but that statue is now gone, and I think it was a statue of Tut, and that piece has these inscriptions on it. You can only see that by going to see these exhibits. That's the only way you're going to see it face to face. A lot of the papyri that I've shown you, and I have a bunch here. I'm going to grab some so you guys can see, just to give you an idea of what you're looking at. A lot of the papyri that you see people walking around with are pretty much things taken off of artifacts like this. Okay, so we'll take a piece of papyrus and do a shaving of it and then color it in. Okay, some of them aren't directly from walls. Some of them are coming from artifacts such as what you see here, on the shield, and what you see here on this box. You understand? So it's important to know these things so that you know the sources of the information that you're getting. So when you see that it's written on papyrus, you might know it's original work. So when they try to tell you this is an original piece, you can say, oh, no. I know what the original piece looks like. I've seen it with my own eyes. I know exactly where it is. I know where this comes from. You have to know some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So just look at the detail, like on this chalice here, alabaster and ivory that they use. It's daunting to look at. It's completely daunting. It just makes you, say, wow, when we look at what we have today, it doesn't even compare to some of this work. It doesn't even compare to some of the craftsmanship that you see right here. It's like they're trying to mimic this stuff. And the beautiful thing about it is that, the majority of the stuff was all there at this exhibit, from the rod and the staff and the hook and the flare. It's all right there. They even had the trumpets that they used to blow. Just amazing craftsmanship on these pieces. This was one of my favorite pieces right here. This necklace here. This particular necklace was actually found, and not just this, but the entire tomb actually was found by a little boy. By a little Arab boy. And they don't give him much credit, but this is him older. He actually made a living off of being the one who actually found King Tut's tomb. Okay? He's the actual true founder of the tomb. It wasn't this scientist, though the scientist led the excavation of the tomb, it was found by a little Arab boy. And what happened was he ended up making a living off of being the founder. He would sit outside of the tomb. He sat outside of the tomb for pretty much the rest of his life. And, with a picture showing how he found that necklace, that was one of the things that he found first when digging out the tomb. And he became famous, off of that locally. But as written down in the history books, it was written down as one of the Tomhu who actually discovered King Tut's tomb, but it wasn't a Tomhu that discovered it. It was actually this melanated brother right here that found the tomb. And they had one of the things that was really cool. They had some of the scientists who were credited, the head scientists of Egyptology for that time, who were around. When you first walk in, they have some of those there, so you can see the names of the individuals who were given credit for finding the tomb. So you can do your research on your own on these individuals to see who they really was, and get your knowledge up. You know what I'm saying? That's what this is about, family. It's about getting your knowledge up. You gotta know, who's who, to be a scholarly individual. Because a lot of times you could be quoting things from people that's stealing credit for things that they didn't actually do. You know what I'm saying? So like this particular guy, Gaston Maspero. Gaston Maspero was one of the dudes, like he was the hustler of the whole situation. Okay? So he's the one that began regulations saying you can't dig here, you can't dig there. Okay? So he was taking artifacts on the low, and keeping them for himself, for his own personal research, and only allowing people certain types of permits to dig in certain areas. So this is how a lot of this stuff, when they say grave robbers, he was one of the first ones. He started setting regulations on people so that you can't get only but certain things. So King Tut was one of those things that he kind of slipped and missed out on. You know what I'm saying? You know how they always trying to set a regulation, but we always slip through the cracks somehow? You understand? King Tut was one of those. That's why he's one of the most exalted ones for other reasons as well that I'll go over. But you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, these are your ancestors' artifacts that they digging up. And you need to see them. You need to know that they exist. You need to know what they look like, where they were, who they are. You understand? You need to know what this is all about. Like, to give you an example, let me just show you how they mislead different things here. If you see here, Tut is this particular King Tut statue, right? I want you to see how they explain this and how they switch it up. Okay, so this is the card that they actually had under it. It says gilded wooden statue of Tutankhamun riding a black varnished panther. But it says here the king's ability to dominate the panther is clear. He carries Tutankhamun to safely through the nocturnal darkness of the netherworld. So the way the spin that they put on it was like he dominated this panther somehow, some way. But we, as in tune with our African spirituality, we know that this is Bast. You understand? This is a deity. So they totally undermined the deity of Bast and made it seem like this was just some a black panther that he tamed. But in essence, they just totally left out the spiritual aspect of what's going on here in this figure. That the spirit of Bast is what enables him to move through the netherworld. It's not the fact that he tamed an animal. You know what I'm saying? Like, they left it so linear to the point where we looked at it as if like he was just some sort of animal trainer with a stick. And they totally skipped over the spiritual part of this. They didn't even recognize the deity of Bast and what the cat, the feline, represents to the African people. So it's up to us to explain that. And I was explaining that, and that's when the time who really started tuning in, when I started explaining that, they started they was like on my neck, like on my heels. Like, anybody will tell you that was there at the SoCal event, they was on my heels. Everywhere we went, they just kept following us all around. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool, you know what I'm saying? They would stop and they would ask me questions and I would explain it to them. You know what I'm saying? But to be honest, the entire place was filled with nothing but Tamhu. I wish that our people understood that how these people are in awe looking at you. You understand? Like, they're looking at your ancestors. They're looking at the greatness of who you are. And you don't see the greatness in yourself. They over here taking pictures, lining up, paying money, to see how great you are. And that was one of the questions that one of the white dudes came and asked me. He came and asked me, he said, what was so great about the Egyptians? And I had to break it down. Like, first off, it's Kemet. We got to talk about Kemet. You know what I'm saying? And I had to break it down to him. I said why we were so great. You know what I'm saying? They don't even understand why they see the greatness in the people. They just know they're drawn to it. And they will pay top dollar to come see it. I mean, there's multiple museums around there. You know what I'm saying? That they could go to. It's like at least like 4 museums in this one area. You understand? Some of them didn't even go to none of those museums. They came specifically to see the artifacts of King Tut. You understand? And we sitting on our butts acting like it ain't nothing to see over here. Man, if you come and take a look at some of this craftsmanship, it will literally blow your mind. These are things that nobody has ever seen in thousands and thousands of years. You understand? We're talking thousands of years, and they're still intact. Beautiful, beautiful craftsmanship. Okay, this one right here, and I wish I had the card so you could read the card. But this particular artifact is showing Tutankhamun on a boat, right? The same little boats that they use today, right, to float around, and they get their sticks and they go around on the lake and everything. Here you see him, and the way they explain this, they said here King Tut is stabbing a hippopotamus, which we can't show you. He's showing his brute strength, stabbing a hippopotamus or something like that, right? And I'm like, what the hell is they talking about? Like, me and my peoples, and we standing there and we read in the car, and we like, what you mean he's stabbing a hippopotamus? Like, if you know anything about African culture, you know, you ain't stabbing no damn hippopotamus with a stick, bro. That ain't never happening. This dude, it's clear that Tutankhamun, first off, Tutankhamun is young. He's like a baby, okay? He's a child. He's not fighting a hippopotamus, okay? He's fishing. If you look in his left hand, he has one of the tools that tribesmen used to use to lure fish. They put it in the water and they shake it around and it makes a noise. It makes a noise in the water, and what it does is it draws the fish. And then you take the spear and you stab the fish. Okay? There is no wooden stick that you're going to use to even pierce the skin of a damn hippopotamus. You understand what I'm saying? But this is what they have written on the card below. And when people come by, they're looking at that and they're reading it. You know what I'm saying? And they're thinking that that's what's going on here. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the hippopotamus alone will push that boat that he's standing over, that little raft that he's on. That's going topsy-turvy if he's trying to go after a damn hippopotamus. You know what I'm saying? It's common sense. See, we as African people, we know what's going on. But the way they explain it, they'll have the babies walking around thinking that we was hunting hippopotamuses. Like, what the hell? Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really have to go and see these things. And it would be in our best interest to chin check some of these people. You understand? Make sure that they get in the right interpretation. Because guess what? Some of these people that's walking around the time that's in these museums, some of them is your school teachers. Some of them are teaching your children. So they're going to take these pictures and bring it to their classrooms. Do you understand? They're going to bring it to their classrooms and teach that curriculum to your babies. If you don't take them first, the babies is going to believe what the teachers have taught them. We have to be the teachers for our children first and foremost before anybody. But if we don't know, if we're not in tune to the African culture and what's going on, we're going to end up just going to the museum and regurgitating the regurgitator who regurgitated from the regurgitator to the babies. You see what I'm saying? So there's a calling on your life. There's a responsibility that you have to your children to teach them the right way, to teach them what's going on. Raise up a child in the way that he should go. And when he's older, he will not depart from it, in the words of a Menemo. Okay? But one of the things that I do want you to understand about King Tut, about Tutankhamun, is that he was adored. Like, this was from his bed. This was the headrest of his bed. And as you see, it has the deity of Tuaret there at his head. Okay? And we all know Tuaret was one of the deities that dealt with motherhood and things of that nature. So you know that he was a king that was absolutely adored. So he had Tuaret at his head, at his headrest, and at his headboard. And then he had over here Bess. Remember Bess? Remember I told you who they stole the leprechaun from? Which was the consort, right, of Tuaret that dealt with the children and things of that nature. This is King Tut's bed. And you can see, like, at his foot, he had the masculine deity. And at his head, he had the divine feminine energy to show you the balance that they put in place here. Okay, but you could faintly see Bess is starting to weather a little bit. But you can see, if you turn it sideways, you can see the face of Bess there, okay, on his bed. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece to look at. You know, it's just stunning. You know, so the best part family, the best part of this entire exhibit, and I'm going to show you this here at the end. At the end of the exhibit, first and foremost, before you get to the end of the exhibit, the top of the exhibit, you go to the second floor to see the first part of the exhibit. And then it says, if you want to see, there's more. It says, if you want to see the next part of the exhibit, here's a ticket, go down to the first floor. So you have to earn this experience. So they give you this ticket, because some people left after seeing the first part of the exhibit. And they give you a ticket and tell you to go down to the first floor. When you go down to the first floor, just to paint the picture for you, you see some more artifacts. And as you're walking through, it gets really dark towards the end. It says, here's the exit. Okay, be on the way out. You think that it's over. And it says, he lives, right? It's real dark. You don't see anything except for a little sign that says, he lives, right? And when you turn the corner to exit, you run into it has to be at least, I would say, 20 feet to 25 feet tall statue of Tut. And you're not expecting this. This is the last artifact in the entire museum. And when you turn, and this thing is like staring at you right in your face when you turn this corner. This was the highlight of my entire experience for the entire weekend that I was there. The feeling that you get when you turn the corner and this is looking at you face to face. The goosebumps, let's just put it this way. You immediately just want to drop to your knees in respect. Your knees get weak. Your entire soul is yanked from your body when you experience this. To give you an idea, you can't tell how tall this thing really is. To give you an idea, you can faintly see me and you can see how tall this thing is. For the first time in my life, I felt an undeniable respect for authority that I felt like I was before a true king. For the first time in my life, I felt like a connection to true divine and royal energy. And I just froze. And you got to fight back the tears at this point because it just captivates you. And I just froze for about a good 7 to 10 minutes. Couldn't speak, couldn't move. And there's little daunting music in the background that just says, say his name. It says, say his name. And you just whisper Tutankhamun. You just whisper it. Because by you whispering his name, he lives. You see? There's 2 times when you die in this life, as they say. Once when your physical body dies, and the second time when you die is when the last person on earth says your name. The last person to say your name. So by invoking the name Tutankhamun, he lives on. So when you turn this corner and you see this thing staring at you, it speaks to you. It literally talks to you like, I'm still here. And there's almost a presence of, the essence of, thank you for coming to see me and showing your respect for me. You understand? This is how it feels to be in the presence of a divine energy. And then when you finally get the courage to walk up to it, you've been still for so long that your legs feel like jello. It feels like jello. So you kind of like, it's like you're walking on eggshells. Your feet are asleep. Your legs are asleep. Your entire lower half of your body is just numb. So trying to walk to this thing, you feel like you just want to touch it at that point. You just want to touch it. But they have guards surrounding it. You know, they got the workers there. But you just want to just touch it. And then at some point, because you can't touch it, you just want to take it out of there. You just want to just grab it and just try and come on, family. That's how you feel. So, you have to experience this for yourself, family. At some time in your life, you have to take the time to go and reverence these artifacts and show respect for your ancestors, because what it does to you is life-changing. And this is something that I can't give to you. I can only try to explain the feeling that you feel when in that moment, my soul was taken from me. And then he did something to it and gave it back. You understand? He took me to a whole nother level of perception of life. These experiences. And these are the things that we live for here in the Lighthouse. And I would love to experience it with all of you. So definitely try and come out. Because here's the thing. When you leave, after we experience that, right? And we see all of that, we walk out, and that's when you walk into the gift shop, right? And when you walk into the gift shop, you see all of the Tom who, and they're just grabbing the stuff off the shelves, just buying all of these different souvenirs and merch, right? And then you see the jewelry, right? And I'm looking at this jewelry, and I'm like, this is the same stuff that my elder makes. And my elder makes it even better. And I'm watching the Tom who spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars, right? Giving the money to these societies who don't even have any respect, who don't even have the accurate interpretation of the artifacts. I couldn't even spend a dime in there. I said, I gotta get out of here. I'm looking at it. All I could do was take pictures. Because I'm looking at it and I'm like, my Baba makes this. And my Baba is better than you. And you're here in this museum next to these artifacts. And you're collecting money. Huh? They're making replicas of our ancestors and selling them for $25,000. 25 racks is what they're selling artificial pieces like this. You understand? They're getting rich off of your ancestors' goods. You see? And here we are sitting here wondering why we don't have the things we're supposed to have. You see? They've taken it. They've taken it. They can't read the Medu Netter. I was there reading the Medu Netter and reading the inscriptions. And one of the white dudes come over. He said, listen, Marge, he can read it. He can read it. I can hear the whispers behind my neck while I'm trying to teach the people, while I'm trying to read it for the family. I can hear the whispers, and they just following us around. You understand what I'm saying? That's what they're doing. And this is your stuff, family. It's yours. It's yours. All you got to do is go and claim it. You understand? All of these artifacts. This particular one right here was a knife. See, this is what they would do to the people that tried to invade Kemet. After they defeated them, they would turn them into artifacts like this. This is actually a captive that they made into a cane. You see? I mean, it's just awesome work, man. Awesome work. And this is just a fraction of what you see there. When you get to see the inscriptions and the detail that's written here, you see the belt buckle of Tutankhamun with Heru, the Heru blade. It's just amazing work. So I implore you, family. I implore you, at some shape, form or fashion, try and get to this exhibit. Definitely this exhibit. Any other exhibits that you have in your area, go and check them out, because you never know what you're going to see. You never know what you're going to find. You guys got to see some things here that nobody's seen yet. This is the first time they've been revealed to the world. Okay? to this, especially to the conscious community. Nobody's been able to see this type of stuff that I'm showing you here today. Okay, so I want to give a big shout out to Lighthouse Long Beach, Lighthouse SoCal. Okay, because they showed me so much love down there, between Queen Ebony, Tony Hart, Queen and Queen Flower's husband Sean, all the admin that were there, Angel, everybody that was there that came out and showed the love and support to a brother. It was just great. You know, the divine number 9. We got into depth on the divine number 9, and you know, when you're in alignment, I tell people, you know, when you're in alignment, just great things start coming your way. Beautiful things start happening for you. You know, as y'all know, you know, I just start bumping into people that are of the same frequency and vibration as myself. You know, on the way there, I ran into one of my favorite comedians. Every time I go to an event, family, and this happens every single time. Anytime I go out to do a lecture, no matter where I'm at, I end up bumping into somebody with great energy, people with great influence, people with great energy, successful individuals, celebrities, things of that nature. I ran into Famous Los. If you don't know who he is, he's on Instagram. He's a comedian, just a funny dude, and he makes a lot of jokes about sports. He's a sports comedian, so he's one of my favorite guys to watch on Instagram, because I'm not on Instagram that much. So when I go on there, I only go to watch him, and there's another guy named Filet, and they're just funny dudes, because I love, you know, basketball and things of that nature, and they make jokes about it. So I bumped into him at the airport. He was on the same plane. He just so happened to be right in front of me, and that's on my way going to SoCal. And then on my way back from SoCal, I bumped into Remy Ma and Pat Poose. You know, and if you don't know who Pat Poose is, you know, I mean, you probably been sleeping under a rock. But Pat Poose is one of the most conscious rappers. You know, he understands, you know, the laws of the universe and things of that nature. When he first came out, you know, he dealt with the number 9 a lot. He dealt with Gino Green and that clothing line, and it's just so crazy, because I just finished a lecture on the number 9, and when Pat Poose first got his start, he was doing like sponsoring Gino Green clothing, and their line was based on the number 9. It's just crazy how in alignment we are, you know, with our surroundings, with the universe, and how the universe sends people, you know, your way to bond and form relationships with. I mean, it's just a beautiful experience, you know, and I implore you to get involved, man. Get in alignment, because you're gonna see how quickly your life, you know, changes, how quickly you have experiences that are meaningful. You have a purpose, you know, in life, you know, because it's not a coincidence. The things that start to happen to you at that point are no longer coincidences. And then when you know that they're no longer coincidences, then you can figure out why these situations have happened. You know how to react to them and how to respond to these particular situations. So I want to let's pay some.
Imagine not needing to rely on certain man-made drugs for the rest of your life. 9 Essential brings you the best organic turmeric powder. Turmeric is an amazing herb which has anti-inflammatory functions due to its bioactive compounds. Our product range is a safe and easy-to-consume turmeric powder that is based off ancient remedies that have worked for years. Turmeric reduces the pain that people with arthritis feel in their joints. It protects the liver from being damaged. It reduces the risk of cancer. It protects against heart disease. Visit www.9essential.com to learn more about our products.
Yeah, so with that being said, family, upcoming events really quick that I'll go over. We do have the Lighthouse Family Reunion coming up. If y'all want to be a part of that, we are all meeting in New York. We're going to be meeting here. I believe it's at Prospect Park. Let me see if I can find a flyer here for you guys. The family reunion, we're going to be in Prospect Park. Okay, come on out to the family reunion. It's going to be amazing from 11 to 7 on August the 25th. All right, so everybody's coming out from all the different lighthouses from across the world, from around the country. We're all going to be meeting together at Prospect Park for our family reunion. This is something that you don't want to miss. So get your tickets now, okay? Get your plane tickets. Come on out. And I believe they're doing a Airbnb, so everybody's going to be staying in the same place, just like bugging out and doing what we do. We do have Lighthouse T-shirts available. If you want to get your Lighthouse T-shirt, it's for donations of $30 and $35, depending upon the type of print that you want. The PayPals are on the bottom bottom of the screen here, paypal.me/lighthouse, DETCLE. So get your Lighthouse t-shirts. Everybody's loving these new shirts. I mean, they just official. I appreciate everybody that's been rocking them and showing their love and support. We do have Lighthouse power bracelets available as well. If you want to get your Lighthouse power bracelet, you can get them now. Donations of $50 or more. Make sure you put your mailing address in there. If you want to get the meditation bracelets, we had a great time meditating on the beach out there in SoCal. If you haven't seen the video, go back and check it out so you can see us meditating on the beach. It was awesome. We did the opening of the way and then got into an in-depth conversation about meditation. So shout out to them. Also shout out to Baba Heru. Like I told you, if you want to get your comedic jewelry, hit up Baba Heru, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't spend your money in these other spots. Get it from our people. We got it. You know what I'm saying? And we're doing it better. So Baba Heru, he's right here in New York. StudioPatah.com. You can get you some official some official jewelry from our elder Baba Heru. With that being said, may the divine force in me greet the divine force in you. We got some special guests coming up this week, so be available, family, because we got some real special things going on for the rest of the week. So I love y'all. Dua, 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 dua. Ashe, family, and peace.